Hello, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I hope we will have more cameras on so we can make it interactive. Whenever you're at home or in the office, we would appreciate it. Hey, Heather.
Hey, FYI, Ricky Carruth may ask you to put your cameras on as well, so he likes the live audience.
Hi, Joe. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure.
And since we don't have to admit people in, Rui, maybe you help me watch out for him so that way we can also blast him on a screen. Israel, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Awesome. Wow, look at KW's signature having a fancy equipment now. I love it.
Yeah, it's fancy.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, Munza. Erica, hello. Sapna, hi.
Hey.
Ashton, thanks for joining us. Deborah, hi. Amy, hi. Thanks for joining us.
Good
Carmen,
morning.
hello. We should have some music. We're just missing DJ Norman. All right, I see he's setting up the training room.
Good morning.
Hey, how are you? Right
I'm doing
on time.
fabulous.
All right.
Yeah.
We had this intro for you. Hold on. Let me do it as people are hopping on. Ready? Ooh, we have this special guest this morning that we are very excited and grateful for, that he will be spending the next 45 minutes with you guys. Let me introduce you to somebody that I've been in touch for the last few months. If you don't know him, you should definitely follow him on Instagram. He is a fantastic coach, national coach, former solo agent that has a very powerful story. And this story is from really being broke and possibly living from your car. Would that be the correct statement? Is that okay to share?
Sure.
To becoming the #1 solo agent with over 1,000 transactions sold in Alabama. Is that the right way to say it?
Yeah. Alabama. I like how you said that.
You know, it's the European twist on it. So, hey, thank you so much. We have 3 KW offices over here. We are also streaming you in our training rooms. So people remote, people in training rooms. What I would like to do is a little bit of a housekeeping. If we can make sure that everybody is muted unless Ricky Carruth says otherwise. And then same thing for the training rooms. And then maybe we save some Q&As for the end or whenever you think appropriate. How does that sound?
That sounds amazing.
All right, well, perfect. Everybody help me welcome Ricky Carruth. Let's give him one clap.
Thank you. Appreciate that, guys. I know we talked about me coming over there in person and doing this live, and hate that we couldn't put that together, but maybe that's something we can do in the future. So looking forward to that, because to be honest with you, the energy is way different when it's when you're in the same room with somebody. So, and I think that's really important too, is to get in the right rooms with the right people, like you guys are doing right now. A lot of you are in the same room, and when you're around other agents that are have a high level of ambition, and they're trying to, they're going through the same stuff you're going through, and then you've got somebody else in the room who has already climbed the mountain and they're there. They've been there, they've done that, and they're able to kind of help and guide you guys through the process. Super important. It's something I really didn't really do a whole lot of. I didn't really hire a bunch of coaches and stuff. I was really kind of behind closed doors most of my career, just cranking phone calls. But if I had it all to do ever again, I would have been in better rooms. I would have been around higher energy people. I did move to a brokerage because they had the #1 agents in the area, and that did help me a whole lot. So you guys are in a really good spot being with the brokers that you're at, high producing company, all collaborating, doing things like this. So you probably don't realize how important that is, but it's extremely important. So as I kind of get started here, could you guys that are on the Zoom and able to chat, if you guys could put in the chat what your biggest struggle in the market is right this second. What are you guys having the most trouble with right now in your business? What's preventing you from growing? Where's the bottleneck in your business? What's the biggest question that you have? Go ahead and throw those in the chat right this second, so that because that's really what I want to talk about, is what your biggest struggles are. I could get up here and kind of just yell at you guys for a bit, and share all my ideas and everything, which I will do a little bit of, but more so to give you guys the most value I could possibly give you. It's to really dig into whatever problems and questions that you guys have. So throw that in the chat, and I'll kind of give you guys a little bit of my background, and then I'll address some of these issues that you guys have, and then I'll open it up for some Q&A. So I've been doing this a long time at this point. 2002 I got in, which I know there's a lot of agents that have been doing it longer, but I'm beginning to be a dinosaur. I'm getting there. Back in 2002, we didn't have social media. The iPhone wasn't even out. Facebook didn't exist. YouTube didn't exist. You know, Zillow wasn't around. You know, a lot of the things that we have now, you know, the opportunity right this second for real estate agents is unlike anything that we've ever seen. And I'll tell you this: the next 10 years will be the most profitable. The most profitable agents will make more money over the next 10 years than they've ever made in history. This is the real estate agent boom that we're kind of moving into. Once we get through this recessionary housing period that we're in right now, which, by the way, Fannie Mae and NAR came out with their 2026 forecast. You know, Fannie Mae said home sales are going to jump 10%. NAR said home sales are going to jump 14%. And it's not a mystery why they're saying that. They're not just saying it to say it. They're looking at history. They're looking at cycles. And if you look through history, you can see in the early 90s, we had a housing recession. 2008, we had a housing recession. And during those times, existing home sales got down to about 4 million existing home sales for about 3 to 4 years. And then guess what? It bumped up about 10 to 15%. We've been here for about 3 to 4 years now. And so we're due for a 10 to 15% jump when it comes to home sales. Mortgage rates are going the right direction. Everything's lining up right now for us to come out of this and next year to be better than it was the previous years, which will be a big sigh of relief for all of us, because we're coming out of the toughest real estate market right now that we've ever seen for real estate agents. In August, we had the most people cancel their contracts. Buyers canceled more contracts in August than ever before since they started tracking the data back in 2017. So it's 56,000 deals that got canceled, which was probably over 100,000 agents that didn't get paid on a deal in August. Okay. You're competing. I mean, you've got that. Also, you've got home prices are still at all-time highs, you know. Houston, I'm not quite sure exactly where you guys are, if you're still at that all-time high or a little bit lower, or wherever you are exactly. But I can say this about Houston: you guys are building a lot of homes. Lawrence Yun, the chief economist for NAR, actually mentioned Houston in his report when they came out and said that the 2026 home sales were going to jump 14%. He said that Houston is one of the greatest markets when it comes to how robust they're being with building new homes. And that's only going to help home prices there. It's going to make things more affordable because there's going to be more supply, and you've got a nice jobs market there. So, like, whew, man, the opportunity for you guys is so crazy being where you are actually in Houston. And all of you guys should be 100% focused on, if you don't know what strategy, if you don't have your strategy mapped out, just to give you guys something, you know, tactical, new construction, right? If you don't know, like, what should I focus on? You should be focused on new construction, because builders are literally trying to give these things away with rate buy downs and incentives and closing costs and appliances and prices and all these things. It makes that new construction home like the deal of the moment. Okay. So back in 2008, when I lost everything, I was sleeping in my car and I got back into real estate. The deal of the moment was foreclosures. And I took that deal of the moment and I utilized it to build a massive brand. So imagine this: you guys have the same opportunity right now with new construction, right? You should be all in on this. I used foreclosures as the bait. I said, hey, I would use it, and I would call property owners, and I would say, hey, I see you're over here on whatever street, or you're in this condo complex or whatever. Would you like to buy another one of those that you have for half off? Like, it's half price. It looks exactly the same. It's beautiful. Like, there's nothing wrong with the property. It's just 50% off. Would you like one of those? Would you like two of those? Would you like three of those? And my plan was to utilize foreclosures as bait to create relationships with as many property owners as I could in the market, right? And a byproduct of that, that was my main objective. A byproduct of that was that I would sell a few foreclosures. And then those people that bought foreclosures would let me list those properties in 3 years when prices went up, roll that property into another property and refer 4 or 5 people to me who all did the same thing. And I knew that within 3 to 5 years, I would be the number one agent in my market, all because of what I did in 2008 on the back of the deal of the moment. And so right now, the deal of the moment is new construction. Don't think, oh, I need to go sell new construction. Think, I need to use new construction as an opportunity to create as many relationships in the market as I possibly can. And a byproduct of that is I might sell a few new homes. And then later on, when they want to upgrade into a nicer home, they're going to let you sell that one in 5 years. By the way, it's still going to be a brand new home. You're going to list this brand new home that still looks great. You're going to help those people buy their next home, and you're going to help 3 or 4 of their friends do the same thing. And you could literally take that opportunity of the deal of the moment and turn it into literally the number one agent in Houston. Like, you could do that. It's like that opportunity is available for each and every one of you right this second. But I'll tell you where agents go wrong is they try to do too many things. New construction, Zillow leads, Facebook ads, like they're doing everything. You cannot scale a complicated business. Simplicity scales, complexity fails every single time. You've got to figure out what your path is, what your pathway is, right? Which means you need to know what you're shooting for. But you gotta really sit down and say, okay, what's the singular best pathway here? Because when you talk to a number one agent who has made it, who is at the top, who was at the top, who has been there a while, and you say, how did you make it? What was your thing? It's always, every single time I ask this question, it's always one singular thing. It's always like I circle prospected, or I did for sale by owners, or I did Instagram, or I did YouTube, or I did Zillow leads. Or it's like they never say, well, I did Zillow, Facebook, and YouTube. Never do they say that. They might have dabbled with a couple other things on the side, but it was one main thing that got them there that they really focused on. So you really got to figure out what that is. For me right now, it would be new construction, because I can literally call all the existing homeowners and say, hey, I see you've got a house on Smith Street. Would you guys by chance like to be in a brand new home? Because I got a really nice one right around the corner. This builder is trying to give this thing away. He calls me every day trying to see if I could give this thing away. And I'll give you guys like the extension of that when they're not interested, to create that relationship. And I want to get into some of you guys' problems. When they say they're not interested in something, no matter what it is, the very next question is, cool, do you guys think you'll ever move? Bam. You get them talking about their future. You keep them talking about their future. And now you know what they're planning to do. And now you can turn around and utilize that information and data to really go deep with the relationship and lock that in for the future. Because here's the fact of the matter. That person is going to buy and sell a lot of real estate throughout the course of your career. And the question is, do you want to be their agent through the course of your career? I would imagine the answer is yes. So why not? We're here talking to them anyway. Why only focus on people who are ready right now? I built my entire $1 million business off of people who were not ready to buy or sell. The entire thing. Because the year that you make $1 million will not come from the leads you got the year you made the $1 million. It will come from all the leads you got through your entire career up to the year that you made the $1 million. So all the people you met year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, all those people compounding into year 7, the year you made the $1 million, not the leads you met year 7. No, it's all the people that you met year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. And maybe, 20% of the deals you do that year are from people you met year 7, but 80% is going to be from all the people you met through the course of your career up to that point. So you got to have really good systems in place where everyone you ever meet never forgets you. That is the name of the game. And how do you stand out? How do you do something that allows the people that you talk to never forget you, and that to think, you know what? They are the one out of 10,000 agents, right? I don't know how many agents are in Houston, right? But let's say there's 10,000, 20,000. I have no idea, right? They've got to pick you. You've got to be their number one pick out of 10, 20,000 agents. And the problem most agents make are they're really good at creating friends, but they stay in the friend zone. They're not great at turning that into a business relationship. And so they think they have a client that's going to pick them when they decide to buy or sell, but then they don't. And they think, oh, I thought we were friends. Yeah, you are friends. Me and about 15 other agents. Like I need the very best one. Like I'm going to pick the very best one that I feel like is the best fit for me. And so you guys have got to also get really good at developing the skill of transitioning those friendships, which a lot of you guys are great at, but don't stop right there. Transition it into a business relationship. Okay. Let's see what you guys got on situations and stuff. Expectations in the market, getting listings sold, time management and phone calls, expectations of customers, listings sitting on the market, finding the motivated, getting my name out there, converting leads to sales. Listings have become a challenge. I imagine you mean selling them, getting listings sold. I see a recurring comment here, and that is getting listings sold. Okay, let me address that really quickly. And I'll just preface it by saying your job when you get a listing is not to sell the listing. Your job is to help the person do whatever it is they're trying to do, which, by the way, might not be necessarily to sell the listing. How many of you guys have sellers who are like, well, if it doesn't sell, I'll just keep it, or I don't care if it sells, right? Or if I don't get my price, then we'll just rent it or whatever. Like, they don't care if it sells. They're not pressured. They're not in trouble. They don't care. And so how do we as an agent not listen to our clients about the fact that they don't care if it sells? They're trying to sell it for this. And if it doesn't sell, they're going to do that. Why not develop a game plan around them to help them accomplish that instead of trying to figure out how to sell this listing? Well, they don't care if it sells. This is where our objective and our client's objective gets sidetracked and it doesn't line up. You got to line up your objective with the client's objective, right? And so our job is not to sell the listing. A listing, let me give you guys a definition of a listing. A listing is a lot of people think it's a written agreement in which a property owner hires a real estate agent to sell a property. Not true. A listing is a written agreement in which a property owner hires a real estate agent to solve a problem. And so people don't wake up one day and say, I want to sell a property for no reason. Oh, honey, I think we're just going to sell this property. Why? I don't know. Just feel like doing it for no reason. Never happens. Like their kids went to college. Their mom died. They lost a job, got a job, had a baby. Mom moved in. Like, need a bigger house, need a smaller house. They just want to be on the water. Like, all those things have nothing to do with the house. Right? Do you get it? The reason why people buy and sell properties have nothing to do with the properties. Has everything to do with something going on in their life. And what we do as agents is we focus on the property. Oh, you want to sell your property? Cool. When can you meet? I got 3 o'clock today. I'll come over. I'll tell you how we're going to get it sold. No, you're skipping the most important part. Oh, you want to sell your property? Cool. What's going on in your life that's causing you to make this decision to sell this property? Personally, I'd never sell this property. It's the most amazing property I've ever seen. Why in the world would you sell this property? Inquiring minds would love to know. And then when you get them talking about the reason going on behind the scenes, behind the curtain, under the hood of what's going on in their life that's causing them to make the decision to sell this property, now you're moving in a direction where when you know why someone wants to do something, what someone wants to do and why they want to do it, then you can help them do it. But if you don't know and you're just like, you want to sell a property, great, let me come show you how we can get it sold. And you just talk about how to get it sold, talk about how many sales you've gotten and your presentation and how we're going to market it and all this stuff. And we don't even know why we're doing it. We're focusing on the property, not the person. And I aim to switch that with you guys. I aim to help you guys flip that to focusing on the person and understanding what it is they want to do. So let me take another step back. Lead generation. The purpose of lead generation is to create a frequent enough conversations with the right people I want to do business with, so that my business grows at the velocity that I desire. The right frequency of conversations. Okay. The only thing that matters with lead gen is it creating enough conversations with the right people so that my business grows at the speed that I want? Period. End of story. If what I'm doing is not creating conversations, then I need to do something else. Conversations are the key. It doesn't matter if it's Instagram, Facebook, cold calling, YouTube, Zillow leads, door knocking. It doesn't matter. If it's creating conversations, then you're moving in the right direction. If it's not, then you're not. It's real simple. So the purpose of lead gen is to create conversations. The purpose of the conversation is not to get a listing. It's not to get an email. It's not to set an appointment, show a property, sell a house. The purpose of the conversation is very simply this, just to get them to feel comfortable enough with me to open up to tell me everything that they want to do and why, so that I can help them do it. I don't care what they want to do. They could want to sell in 5 years. They want to buy next week. They want to sell in 20 years. I don't care. Just tell me what it is you're trying to do so that I can help you do it. See, that sells. Sales is not trying to convince people to do things. When you try to convince someone to do something, when you're trying to twist their arm to get them to do something, that's you attempting to get them to do something for your personal reasons, for your reasons. But when you persuade them to do what it is they already want to do, right? That sells. You're persuading them to do something that they already want to do. That's how you sell. And so when you think about it like this, if you want to build a massive business, okay, because a lot of you guys get really stuck on one deal, like this deal is going south. How do I save this deal? And the truth of the matter is, you'll never get to 50 deals, 75 deals, 100 deals, 150 deals, 300 deals. You'll never get to a massive business if you care about the results of any one specific deal. You have to play the volume game. It's got to be the volume game, or you will not have a massive business. And if you play the volume game, not only will you have a lot of sales, you won't be in a position where you're worried about, oh, is this one going to close? Is that one going to close? Because it won't matter, because you'll have 20 pending deals, 30 active listings, whatever. And now you're in this situation where you have a quality of life because you have a peace of mind, because you're not sitting around worried about things that aren't even going to happen. You can actually concentrate on what really does matter, which is helping this person through whatever it is they're going through. Because you're making so much money. Guys, when you get to the point where you don't care when deals sell, if deals sell or not, because you got so many of them happening, because you play the volume game and you're not focused, you're not letting one deal take over your whole life. And that opens up time for you to actually focus on a multitude of deals. Let me tell you something. You're living a peaceful life. You don't have a worry in the world, and you make so much money. There's no financial problems in your life. You can actually focus on things that matter in life, which isn't money, by the way. Family, faith, fitness, spending quality time with the people that you love. But it's all just in our minds. We're so focused on this deal, we let it literally take over our entire life. And now we have no mental capacity to improve anything else in our life or do any more deals. What? Quit thinking about that deal. You shouldn't even be thinking about that deal. Well, this agent is jerking me around. Who cares? This buyer has already backed out of 2 deals and they want to go look at some more properties. Great. I'm here to help them do whatever it is they're trying to do. You can write 10 offers, sir. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I got 15 deals going on. Like, I don't care if you do a deal or not. I'm here to help you do whatever it is you want to do. I don't care. So as far as getting listings sold, think about it like this. And this is rhetorical. Is there anything in the world? Is there anything in the world that you can do? Okay. Like, let me just throw some things out there. Zillow Showcase listing, Facebook ads, open houses. I think Chris is unmuted. Is there anything you can do to make listings sell faster and or for more money? And I'll just answer for you. No, there's not. An open house won't sell a house faster. Zillow Showcase won't sell a house faster. Facebook leads won't sell a house faster. Cold calling around the house won't sell the house faster. If there was a way to sell houses faster for more money or whatever that agents believe, some agents believe that they have some kind of they're some kind of sorcerer or something when it comes to this. If that actually existed, do you even think there would even be a such thing as listings, active listings? No, there would not. Every single agent would sell their listing before it even hit the market. Days on the market wouldn't go up. We have no control over when a listing is going to sell. I hate to break it to you. Nothing you can do that's going to make a listing sell faster. So you got to see, when your worry is connected to things that you treasure. If you treasure that a listing is going to sell, and you put your treasure into something that you cannot control. Now your worry's connected to something you can't control. Now you can't control the things you worry about. Put your treasure into things that you can control. How many people I'm going to talk to today to see who I can help to buy and sell real estate? The byproduct of that is a lot of closings. That's something I can control, right? How much time I'm going to spend doing what I have to do to help as many people. You need to think of yourself, guys, as volunteer workers doing community outreach. Volunteer workers work for free. Why do they work for free, by the way? Why do volunteer workers work for free? And they work hard too. Why do they work for free? I'll tell you why. Because there's a bigger purpose behind what they're doing. They're doing it for a charity or a nonprofit, or there's some big mission that they're trying to accomplish. And I think most of you guys' problem is that you don't have a big mission you're trying to accomplish. You're just trying to make money. And making money is so below you. And so if you don't have something that's bigger than you that you're trying to accomplish, then you're not going to do the things that you need to do, because guess what? This business is hard. So you've got to create this mission that is bigger than you. I want to help first-time home buyers. I want to help not just first-time home buyers. I want to help first-time home families, family buyers. I want to help them get into that home that they couldn't previously get in. I want to work with lenders. I want to find products. And I'm on this mission to help 1,000 families get into their home that they probably couldn't get into over the next 5 years. Or, like me, when I was selling Gulfront condos, my mission was kind of similar. I said, and I wrote this out, right? And I had to have something that was bigger than me that I was trying to achieve. Otherwise, why in the world would I make 100 calls a day? With no dialer, by the way, hand dialing. I said, I want to help as many families, and I had a number, all right, 300. I want to help 300 families over the next 4 years get into a beachfront condo to create lifelong memories with their kids that will last generations. That was my mission statement. And I thought about it every single day. I'm a volunteer worker doing community outreach to reach out to people, to do everything I can do to help as many families get into these beachfront condos to create memories with their kids that will last generations. If I'm just doing it for the money, I probably am not going to make it too far, because that's a mission that is below each and every one of you. You got to have something bigger than you that you're striving towards. All right, let's get back to the chat real quick. How do you this is a good one. How do you transition a friendship into a business relationship? Really good question. And I'm glad you asked it, because I didn't tell you what it was on purpose. I wanted to see if somebody was actually curious enough about it to ask, and you did. So the way that you transition it is you create the friendship first. Think about it like a marriage, right? Think about it like a spouse, a girlfriend, a boyfriend. The best relationships, they're always friends first. My wife and I were friends for 2 years. No. Yeah. About 1.5 years, we were friends, like true friends, never going to date, before we dated. And I honestly believe that that's the reason why our marriage is so strong, is because of that fact. And I think about the same thing with clients. So you want to create the friendship first, but then the way you transition it into a business relationship is you start talking about real estate. So you create the friendship, but not only do you talk about real estate, you dig deep into what they got going on, what they're looking to do, why they're looking to do it. You create the friendship, you have a great conversation, things are going great. Maybe it's this first conversation, you start talking about real estate. Maybe it's a second, maybe it's a third. I don't know when you're going to do it, but you want to know, like, if they're thinking about moving soon, what they got going on in their life. And you probably already know a lot of the stuff, because through the friendship part of it, you've kind of learned about their family, what they do for a living, this, that, and the other. You're literally gathering all the data, all the information that you need in order to serve this person at the highest level. But the way you transition it is you start talking about real estate, you start talking about what their real estate plans are, and then you start helping them put together a plan to help them accomplish those things. Now you've turned this into a business relationship. Okay, let's get into some Q&A. If you guys want to throw your hand up on the Zoom, By the way, put in the chat if this has been helpful at all. If there was like an aha moment or something that I said that kind of like, wow, like that's going to change my business right there. Let me know in the comments if I'm striking some chords with you guys on some of these things. And then if anyone wants to unmute and verbally ask a question, we'll love to go there for these remaining 15 minutes. As you guys are building the courage to do that, let me just kind of reiterate, 2026 is going to be a rebound year. Okay. When do you guys believe that you take advantage of a surge? Is it before, during, or after the surge happens? Okay. It's before. Of course, before. When is that? When is before the surge happens? If we're going to see a 10 to 15% jump in home sales next year, when is that? Right now. Right now, you've got to be all in, not halfway in, not 90%, not 70, not 10, 100% all in. Like, you need to be thinking, this is my opportunity. Like, this is the moment that I've been waiting for my entire life. Is everything that I've done up to this point, everything that I've learned, everything that I've accomplished, all the failures that I've went through have all led to this moment right now, right here. And what I do in November, December, and January and February, I promise you, I'm just telling you guys, what you do in November, December, January, and February will determine, I'm just saying, it's going to determine your entire career. Like, if you give it all you got right now, you're going to have a massive career, because the seeds you plant during this moment right here are going to turn into oak trees really fast. If you wait till the surge happens, those seeds can't really, it's going to take longer for those seeds to mature, because you're going to have so much competition in the market. Right now, you have a massive opportunity to acquire so much market share, which basically means, before somebody asks what that means, how many people in the market know who I am? How many people know who I am, what I do, and that I'm here to help? I'm not here to sell. I'm here to help. I'm trying to figure out what it is you want to do, sir, what you want to do, ma'am, and I want to help you do it. I'm not trying to get you to buy something or list your house. I'm not even trying to, if you list your house, guess what? I'm not going to try to get you to sell it. I want to help you do whatever it is you want to do. Cool. Esther?
Yes. So, yeah. Ricky, thanks for what you've said so far. It's really inspired me. My question for you is around how you make sure people that meet you never forget you. Can you give an example of how you've done that, besides asking for, trying to understand what's going on in their lives?
That's the first step, though.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't do that, you're going to sound like every other agent, and they will forget you. So the agents that actually come in with this professionalism, right? Because I call asking questions about somebody's situation being professional. If I'm not, then I'm being unprofessional, because if I can't get the information I need to truly help them, then I can't help them do whatever it is they're trying to do, because I don't know what they're trying to do and why they're trying to do it. I don't know it to the depths. And so therefore I can't help them. So therefore I'm being unprofessional. I'm just trying to get deals done. That's going to lead to a really dark place. So that is the first step, actually. So I want you to understand that before I give you the rest of it, right? Because most agents aren't going to go deep. And when you do go deep, they're going to realize, wow, this person cares about me. They're not just trying to get deals done. You know, this is different. This is a different feel. And now you've created this great first impression that's going to carry through the rest of your career with that person. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to ask so many questions about their situation that you understand their situation more than they do. Oh, how does that happen? Well, when you listen to their situation and the things they're trying to do, you can foresee things that are going to come up that they can't see, because you've been there, done that. You've done X amount of transactions. You have X amount of experience. You can see those potential problems and potholes coming up, and you can point those out. Well, okay, I see what you're trying to do here, but what if this happens? Have you thought about that? They're like, oh, no, I hadn't thought about that. And now you're providing so much value to that person, because you're digging deep, understanding what they're trying to do, and pointing out potential problems they could possibly have and helping them plan better right then and there. And now they're like, oh my gosh, mind blown. This is my agent. Never had an agent go this deep with me. Never had an agent, point out these situations to me. Now I can actually plan better. And you know what? I like the feeling of somebody that's helping me plan better. Never had that before with another agent. So I'm just saying, without this piece of it, they will forget you. Okay. So that's like phase one, the great first impression, I call it. Phase two is, and I'll just tell you the way I did it. You guys can take the method that I did it with, and you can use a different method, but it's got to be something that is similar. So what I did was a weekly email on the same day of the week forever to my entire database. So anybody I talked to, anybody I could touch in any kind of way, they went into my database, and I did a weekly email on the same day of the week every Wednesday. And so what you have to understand about email is that it is a social media platform. It is somewhere where people go and scroll through a feed and click on things that they find interesting. It is a social media platform. The difference is there's no algorithm. It's all chronological. The only thing that could negate them seeing your content is if it goes to spam or if they don't check their email, which is possible. But it's not as bad as social media's algorithm. Like social media, you post something, like 5% of your followers see it, versus email, a good 80-90% of your people in your database will see the email. And even if they don't open it, it doesn't matter. They saw your name in their inbox, and that's really the most important part, that they see your name consistently, because they're gonna think about, they're gonna put that together, your name versus that great first impression. See, the weekly email doesn't work without the great first impression, and the great first impression doesn't work without the weekly email. You got to have both. So when you make that great first impression and then you follow up with that email, they're like, oh my gosh, they blew me away during the conversation. Wasn't quite ready, but then like, wow. And then they're like, boom, every Wednesday, Wednesday, bam, next Wednesday, bam. They're like, wow, not only was that incredible, but they are consistent, dependable, hardworking, professional. That's what the weekly email does. It proves all the things to your audience, that you are who you say you are, and that you are the exact type of agent that they want. That's how I did it. I think in today's world, you would also utilize a weekly text as well. We didn't have bulk texting the way that they have now when I was coming up. So I'll give you guys, so I built my business on circle prospecting, which was phone calls, emails, the weekly email, and postcards. In today's world, I would do phone calls, social media, and emails. Phone calls, emails, and social media. Instead of phone calls, emails, and postcards, I would do phone calls, social media, and emails, and text, email/text. So that's how I did it. Does that help? Cool. Does anyone else have a question that I can address for you guys vocally, verbally? Go ahead, Jana.
All right, I do have one representing, 500 agents at KW Southwest office here in Sugar Land, Texas. I see two groups of my two producing agents. You have some like Lyle that's on this call that goes from 700 to over $1 million in a gross commission income this year. And then I have the second group of the peeps that been in a business for 30 plus years, that used to be at the $1 million in a GCI, and now they're having their worst year ever.
Mm-hmm.
And the conversations are, oh my goodness, I didn't get the listing. I've been in that market area forever. And now all of a sudden there is this newcomer that's taking over. What would your advice be to agents like that so they can regain their market share?
Well, I have to dig into what the business is. I have to audit those agents' businesses to kind of see why this is happening, because if they were doing weekly email, weekly text, if they're in the business for 30 years, they should be the number one agent in the market, just based on compounding relationships. You can't get massive without compounding relationships. And if you have compounding relationships, whereas these people never forget you, and all the people through your 30-year career never forgot you, then you should be sitting on the market can fluctuate your business a little bit, but it can't take you out, and you're not going to have like your worst year ever. In moments like this. So I would fear to say that those agents that are in that situation, that are having really bad years, that have been to the top and now they're kind of, floundering at the bottom and losing market share to other agents, that they didn't do a great job of building their database and maintaining their database and touching those people and making sure and creating custom, like, you know, content is articulating your thoughts in a way that move people. That's content. Articulating your thoughts in a way that move people. And so if you don't have thoughts, if you're not articulating your thoughts, if you're not giving your opinions on stuff in your weekly emails, on social media, in your text messages, etc., it's really hard for people to kind of like stay connected to you. If you're just sending out cold hard facts about like, here's what sold, call me if you need something, that's not going to work because 15 million other agents are doing the same thing. But when you say, here's what sold, and here are my thoughts about it, right? Here's my thoughts being an agent on the ground showing property every week. Here's what my buyers are saying. You know, here's what I'm hearing. Here's what other agents are saying. Now you've got a real newsletter that people actually find interesting and valuable. And now they're tuning into you every single week. I would just think that, you know, okay, a business plateaus for one of two reasons. They either quit acquiring new clients, meaning they quit prospecting, or they quit taking care of the clients that they currently have, which means they quit doing the weekly email. They're doing nothing to really nurture the clients to compound those relationships into a massive business. If you've been to the top and now you're at the bottom, it's probably a combination of both. You're not prospecting and you're not doing anything to nurture the leads in your database. So it's real simple. You just have to kind of plug those holes up. Okay, let's get your database. Let's reactivate them. Let's re-engage them. Let's get a weekly email going. Let's start building the business right so we can compound these relationships where we never have a year like this ever again. On the flip side, we might have enough clients in our database to actually have a $1 million business right here. We don't even have to prospect anymore. That is possible. But if we don't, if we're at 300, 400, 500, and we want to get to $1 million, okay, this is the base. This is the foundation of our database. This is a $300,000 a year business without prospecting, but I want to get it to $1 million. Okay, we got to prospect. We got to get more people in the database to get the database big enough to produce the $1 million. Then we can quit prospecting. Guys, there's light at the end of the prospecting tunnel. The objective is to get your database big enough to produce the income that you want without prospecting. Once you hit that, you never have to prospect another day in your life. In 2017, I made $1 million for the first year as a solo agent. I never made another cold call ever again in my life. I made over $1 million for the next 4 years before I retired from being an agent. Okay, just the weekly email, no check-ins, no open houses, no community events, no checking on my clients, no Christmas cards, no nothing. Just the weekly email, not even a text, no social media, just a weekly email. Continue to produce the $1 million every single year after that. So if you build your database, if you do it right, the objective is to get it to the size that towards producing the amount of income you want, then you're done. You can live off your database. And what's really cool about that is that you can, once you get to the phase of your business where you're maintaining that level of income, it only takes about 50% of the same amount of time. So I spent about 50 hours a week building the $1 million business. But once I got it to $1 million, it only took me 25 hours a week to maintain the $1 million. And it's the whole reason why I was able to actually step a little bit out of sales and build the coaching business and build the coaching brand while I was still selling, because I had all that extra time on my hands. Everyone's like, how are you doing all this stuff? You're making $1 million as a single agent? You're traveling, you're speaking, you're making content, you're doing coaching calls. How in the world are you doing it all? It's because I did it right. I didn't try to coach agents too early. I built a real business that was basically running on its own, even though I was the solo agent within the business. But all I had to do was show property, go to listing appointments. I didn't have to prospect anymore. All the leads just fell in my lap. And I'll give you another one. When you get to that side of the business, the leads that come in, they're not calling 3 agents. They're not interviewing 3 agents. They're calling 1 agent, you. And they ain't working with nobody else. And they'll pay you anything you want. They're not arguing with you about commission. They're not, they're very, very, very easy people to deal with at that point. They've already done business with you. They were highly referred to you, whatever. And it gets really easy. So just keep that in mind. This should be the goal. We're trying to build our business to that point. This phase that you're in right now, a lot of agents get stuck in the phase they're in right now where they're just prospecting till the day they die. Okay. Nah, I want to build a real business. Whereas I can build a clientele of customers that will sustain whatever income that I want. so that at that point I could use that career to stair step into something I actually want to do. Because I'll leave you guys with this. I would fear to say that most of you do not want to be a real estate agent till the day you die. That could be a mic drop moment. I don't know.
That is. We had one more question if we have 5 more minutes. I think
Okay.
was it Julia that had her hand up? And then Alai also
I
question.
did. I just didn't know. Hey, Ricky, I get your Sunday devotional every week along with your other emails, but I just love this Sunday devotional email. It has to be my favorite. Thank you for being here today, and we appreciate your time so much. Um, I have a listing. I have been following your plan. I dig deep. I know exactly what my clients need, what their motivation is, where they're going. I have this particular home, and I just feel bad for my clients. I'm trying to help them because I know they want out, but yet this home has just sat on the market. I've had one showing. It's
Mhm.
been over 90 days. And I don't know if I'm looking for a magic bullet necessarily, but just maybe some other ideas that maybe I haven't thought of.
There is none.
There is none, just
There's no
time,
ideas.
right?
There's no ideas.
Do some
So,
fresh.
so there's two things, right? So there is number one, we cannot afford to put a lot of mental capacity into so much mental capacity into one deal, because it takes mental capacity away from all the other deals that we need to do in order to build our business to the size that we want. That's like the macro answer is stop worrying about this deal, because the future of whatever happens with that deal has already been written. You can't change it. Like, it's whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen. And you got to have faith in that, right? Like pray about it. Like it's whatever's going to happen is going to happen. My dad told me a long time ago, son, all you can do is all you can do. And he said, guess what? He said, that's all you can do. And what he was telling me is stop worrying about what you feel like you're not doing and be happy about what we are doing. And yeah, like, you hate to see some of these families go through this where they got to sell and stuff, but it's not your problem to worry about. It shouldn't affect you're allowing their problem going on in their lives to affect your business, which affects your family. And not only your family, but all the families that you could be serving by not thinking about them so much. This is I'm just giving you guys like the inside of the mindset of a super high producer. And it's not that I don't care about the family. Like, I'll go over the moon to help these people. Like, you wouldn't believe, guys, the things that I did for people. It would blow your mind if you knew how over the top what the things I did for my customers. It would blow your minds if you guys knew. I'm the first person to go over the top and care more about somebody than anyone else. So it's not I don't care about you. That's not why this mentality is here. It's not okay, I don't care if no, I do care. But again, all I can do is all I can do. And if it's not selling, there's nothing I can do. And so this is what I want you to realize is that you have to understand that there's nothing extra. There's no magic thing that you can do to make it happen, because if you think there is, then you're going to lead them on to believe that there might be. And you're going to get their hopes up, and they're going to be highly disappointed when the magic wand doesn't wave. You need to be real with them, right? Yes, we've been here 90 days. Here's what's happening with the listings around that listing, right? These have sold. They're just like yours. These have sold. Here's the prices they sold for. You need to get yours down to this price. If you want yours to sell, it's real simple. Well, we can't afford to get it down there. Okay, well, then let's think about plan B. Like, what's the plan? What are you going to do then? Because the chances are really low. Say, listen, it's probably a 5% chance we're going to sell this house at this price. So you're not telling them it's not going to sell, but you are telling them it's not going to sell. About a 5% chance that this house is going to sell at this price. So we need to go ahead and start formulating plan B. What are you going to do when this house doesn't sell for this? right? And you really need to get them thinking about what their plan B is going to be. Are they going to be like, okay, like plan B is we just got to sell it for whatever we can sell it for? Or is plan B, we're going to keep it and rent it? Or is plan B, we're going to keep it and live in it? What is plan B? Need a plan B. You need to know what their plan B is so that you can help them. And making them come up with plan B might be the best thing that you ever did for them. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you, Ricky.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Cool. Did we have another question?
Yeah, we have a Lyle, and then we have one more. Lyle, take it away.
Okay, we'll take these two questions.
Hey, Ricky, thanks for being here today. It's not really a question, just kind of an overall confirmation, but your general idea is pretty simple. You're just saying, build your database by talking to as many people as possible, offer them something of value, and then stay in touch with them. You do it through a weekly email or some other way, and it will come. I mean, it's as simple as that. Basically, talk to as many people as possible, offer them something of value, and then stay in touch with them. Yes?
Yeah, I think that's the essence of any business model, period.
Yeah.
Right. Get as many customers as you can, help them as much as you can, make sure they never forget you. I think that is every single business's model. Apple's model, Amazon's model, Facebook, every single business you can think of, that's the same model. Get a customer, help them solve a problem, keep them a customer forever. Yeah, absolutely.
And how big was your database in 2017, 18?
About 6,000 or 7,000, 8,000, something like that. It got up to 10,000. 10,000 was the number it got up to. So what I realized was that 1% of my database closed every year. So if I had 10,000, I would close 100 deals every year. If I had 7,000, I'm closing 70 out of my database. If I had 5,000, I'm closing 50 out of my database. So I was at like 6,000. So that year I made calls till about May. So I had about, 6,000, 7,000. So I did probably like, 60, 70 deals out of my database that year. And then I did another, 30, 40 out of the calls I made first half of the year. But, once I saw I was headed to make $1 million, and honestly, 90% of my business was coming from the weekly email, I was like, I started to slack off on calls just to kind of test. I brought it down to like 1 day a week I would make calls, and then I eventually just weaned all the way off of it because I was like, okay, like I have more business than I can handle. Like if my business gets low and I have a low pipeline, I'll jump back on the phone. But it never did. It stayed full for, the next 4 years.
And when you make calls, your script was basically the same, right? I mean, you didn't change it up much. You just called them.
I tried a lot of different
scripts. If there was anything to do for them.
But it took me a long time to get to that script, so like I tested a lot of things, right? But no, in today's world, I would not do is there anything I could do to help you? Because that worked back then when I was building, but in today's market with a lot of sellers with golden handcuffs and not really looking to do anything right now, there's really nothing you can help them with. Back then, everybody was looking to upgrade because prices haven't really went up much, and mortgage rates were about the same as they were when they bought the house 3 years ago. So they were ready to roll. They were ready to buy something else. In today's market, totally different. Mortgage rates are a lot higher. Prices are a lot higher. It's harder for people to kind of upgrade into new homes or different homes. So now I would not. I would call with straight value, which means I would have the deal of the moment, new construction. I would offer them the new construction. Say, hey, do you want to be in brand? You could do this anything. You could take, right? I'm sure in Houston there are $30 million homes, $20 million homes, $10 million homes. I would focus one day on new construction, like that $500,000-$600,000 new construction market. I would call people that own like $300,000-$400,000 homes, or even $500,000-$600,000, and see if they want a brand new home. So to have a day where I strategize against that. But I would also have a day or even a couple of days where I took a $20 million home and I called all the $10 million homeowners around it and said, hey, I see you're over here. Would you like, did you see that $20 million home? Right. Like a mile away. I'd love to show it to you. If you're interested, I'd love to show it to you. Even if you're not interested in buying it, I'd love to just show it to you. Now you're in a conversation with a $10 million property owner and you're showing them a $20 million home. I would be all up in the luxury market trying to knock some of those bigger deals down. But yeah, I would call offering them a property in today's market and something that I feel like is a good possibility that they would be interested in. And when they're not, great. Do you guys think you'll ever move? Transition it to, okay, Let me know what you're thinking about, what you're planning, and lock the relationship in from there.
Would it be okay if I stayed in touch with you? Good. What's a good email address?
That, yeah, absolutely.
Great. Last question,
Thanks, Ricky.
Fan, quickly.
Yes, Ricky. So I would have. So you're just using your number. So 1% of your database. Now you just do email and call. That's it.
That's all I did at the time. Nowadays, you have so many more tools. So yeah, I mean, it's so much easier now. I used to have to look up numbers one at a time on Spokeo, Bigfoot, White Pages, Google. It's totally different world. So you can literally find thousands of phone numbers, click of a mouse, the exact property you're doing business with, cell phones, emails, whole 9 yards. You can use that data to do whatever. You can run Facebook ads, you can email them, you can text them, you can call them. But yeah, I would have situations that I want to offer properties to certain property owners. And I would have conversations, figure out what it is they want to do and why, put together a plan to help them do it. On the back end, people that aren't interested, even people that are, everyone goes into my database that would get weekly emails and text messages on the same day of the week to show consistency and dependability forever. But I would also crush social media. I would be the most well-known agent in the area via social media, which really would not be super hard to do because let's just face it, agents are not that great at social media.
So speaking of the weekly email, I think that's the right website to subscribe. The 0todiamond.com, right?
To get the email.
Yes, sure.
Okay, so check this out.
Template.
So 0todiamond.com is my coaching program. So you can go there if you want to schedule a call to join the coaching program. 0todiamond.com/CRM. That is the 0 to Diamond CRM that you can use. And I have my templates in there. Yeah, I have my weekly email templates for you guys to use. There's automations, there's snapshots. You can build your website there, all that kind of stuff.
Thank you for your answer.
Cool. Great. Hey, huge success. Good to see you guys. Great hanging out. Houston's really easy for me to get to. I just didn't work out this time, but would love to come out and actually do an in-person session with you guys at some point. So if you guys would have me, and if you guys do need me, I answer all my messages on Instagram personally. So that's like the one place where you're going to get me if you send me a message. And outside of that, I think that's all she wrote. Jana?
All right. Well, thank you so much. This has been powerful. We would love to have you in person. So whenever your time permits, definitely would love to schedule it. Agents, was this helpful? Yes?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank
Absolutely.
you very much. And you shared your coaching resources, your newsletter. Much appreciated. And we trust we will see you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Yana.
Is it Yana?
It's Yana. That's okay.
I was calling you
Next time we will
Jana.
get it right.
I was calling you Jana. So Yana.
Just like I'm calling you Ricky Carruth from Alabama.
Alabama. Enjoyed it,
All right.
guys.
See
Talk
you
to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.